Amid US President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown, which is now targeting the H-1B visa and F-1 visa systems, a viral video of an Indian techie breaking down at a US airport has sparked fresh debate. After she was laid off and unable to secure a new job in time, she was forced to leave the country, but at the same time saying a tearful goodbye, saying, "America, I love you." Now, this video has sparked a fresh debate, highlighted the growing challenges that highly skilled foreign workers are facing in the US under the Trump administration. So, Ananya Joshi now joins us on NDTV. Thank you so much for joining us, Ananya. My first question to you is that you were working in the US after your studies, you were able to secure a job, but then you were laid off. So, what could you talk to us about the ordeal that you faced, the challenges that you faced that eventually led and forced you to leave the US?
Totally. So I graduated last year in June and I was on my F1 visa. And I had found a job even before I graduated. So I was one of the lucky ones to begin with. So I didn't anticipate what was coming. And then I was on my F1 OPT for that year. And my company that I had joined, it was a very small company. I should have taken it as a sign back then that they're a very small company. They may not have experience handling H1B sponsorships or general immigration documentation, but they had promised me that stuff. So I it was my first job, so it was normal for me to just trust somebody with their word. And so fast forward to January, and the H1B lottery was coming up in March, and I was all of a sudden told that they would not be able to help me with my sponsorship. And at that time I did not panic because I knew I had additional 2 years of my OPT. But in order for me to work on my extension OPT, the company would have to be e-verified. So this entire time, I was under the impression that the company I was working for was already e-verified because they had told me so verbally, but I had no written promise from them in person. So it came to light at the very last minute that they had not e-verified and they were not planning to do so, which was a big confusion for everyone because e-verification is a very free of cost, easy 10-minute process. So I didn't understand why was it so difficult for them to do such an easy thing. So this is something that I've been like also preaching on my social media for people to be aware so that such sort of thing does not happen to them. So at the last minute, because I could not extend my STEM extension, I was eventually laid off, and that left me with very little time to bounce back. Even in that very little time, 2 months, I did have 20 to 30 interviews in the US, but none of them were willing to hire anybody who was working on F1 OPT. They all needed a green card or a citizenship from people.
So, in a sense, you were living in the US and studying in the US before the Trump administration, under the Biden administration. That's when you secured your job, right?
2024 of June, yeah,
Yes.
that's when I found my
Yes.
job.
So now, with the Trump administration in the White House and imposing these very arbitrary visa immigration crackdown, these visa rules, changing many of the H-1B visa rules, whether it comes to that $100,000 visa fee, do you think there's been an attitudinal change among US companies now being reluctant to hire people on the H-1B visa or sponsor people for
I
the green
think
card?
I've definitely observed more restrictions. Uh, and I feel like the job economy was like still bad a year ago because my friends were struggling to find jobs, but they eventually all did. Whether it was full time roles, whether it was contract roles, sponsorship was still really hard to find for for the field of biotech especially. But people were able to find jobs. But at the current currently people are not even able to find contract roles that are willing to hire them without a green card or citizenship. So there has definitely been a lot of unpredictability in the past year, uh, uh, in the job market. Yeah.
So, Ananya, what made you want to share this very difficult journey on social media? Because we've seen many people now empathize with you, and now that your video has gone viral, but this was a very challenging experience for you. So, before we even get to your learnings, what made you really decide to want to share your story on social media?
Definitely. So firstly, I had a lot of time and I did not know how to kill it, and it was driving me crazy. And I think that is the mental state of every unemployed person in any place, not just the US. And I was always a social media person, and I was like, okay, I've always wanted to do something to help people. I wanted to be a change maker, and I didn't know how I could do it. But at the very least, I thought I could at least spread awareness, because I did find my situation to be slightly unique, and I knew that there was information in my experience that could actually help people prepare for what they were going into. So definitely the intention was to share my story and for people to be more aware of what they were getting into.
What would you say was one of your biggest learnings in this experience, and what would you recommend or tell students who are thinking about pursuing their further studies in the US or are currently in the US about to enter the job market? What would you tell them?
All right. So, like, first and the most, this is simply for job hunting and for their career, is to actually get into a habit of asking for things in writing. I think that was the biggest mistake that I made, was for not get for get have my promises in written. Everything that was promised to me was verbally, and it was just like I just trusted people for whatever they were saying. So definitely, like, get things in writing. Unless they're in writing, they're not real. So anytime somebody gets a job offer, unless it's written, it's on email, your job offer is basically not confirmed. It can be rescinded anytime. So in case, even if you want to pursue some sort of legal action later, it's really important for you to have your documentation ready for things like that. And for second, I know that it's a really bad time for people. I have especially tried to be very positive in this time. I just want people to know that, if for me, for example, I was having a really good time in the US, and then all of a sudden my world changed, right? So for me, in that point of time, I was like, oh my god, my good time did not last. But we can apply the same philosophy to the bad time. If my good times didn't last, my bad times won't either. So I just want to tell people to not lose any hope. It's not the end of the world. The world is actually really big, so there are way more opportunities out there. It's just that we have not been told, because US going to the US became like a dream for many, because it was the herd effect in our culture. Like, oh, some few people found success in the US, so that thing went around as herd effect, and then everybody was conditioned to aspire for the same thing. But conditioning may not necessarily be the truth, and I just want people to know. And I want them to encourage to take more risks and explore beyond their conditioning.
After this experience, Ananya, would you still encourage people to pursue their studies in the US or pursue that American dream? Or would you ask people, or do you think people should rethink this decision or take a pause given the uncertainty in the current climate in the US?
I would definitely advise people who are gonna take a big financial loans to maybe take a pause, because I did not have to take a loan. So in retrospect, I did not have much to lose. Like, I knew that I would not have any financial responsibilities. I don't have any medical bills to pay. Everybody is healthy. We're financially stable. We can do without. So every time we make an investment, we also have to be prepared for the risk. And when we did our US interview, visa interview, we interviewed, and in the interview, we said that our intention is not to immigrate, it is to just study. So when we say that, we should actually believe it, because nothing in life is promised or guaranteed. And when we're going to study, we're going with hopes, but there is no written promise that we will have a successful future or whatever we imagined our success to look like. So if people are going with high expectations, I would also advise them to just keep their expectations low, because most things in life don't go according to plan. And this is something that they don't teach you at school. So I just want people to, like, keep their expectations low, and if they're not losing much, then definitely, like, I'm nobody to stop them, right? But if you're going to take a big financial loans that's going to put pressure on your family or pressure on yourself, I would ask them to take a pause.
Now, what is your next step, Ananya? From what I understand, you are in Dubai right now and you're looking at future opportunities. And what would you tell students? Are there any alternate destinations that they can look at instead of the US to pursue their further studies or pursue other opportunities?
So I was starting to look for countries that were specifically known for success in my field, which is biotechnology. And again, a lot of countries in Europe popped up, like Switzerland, Germany, Belgium. Singapore is also known to be like a place where a lot of startups come up. And then Dubai, I'm in Dubai because my family lives here. Dubai necessarily does not have a research and development landscape in biotech, but if somebody is interested in business development, then definitely look at the Middle East. So I have actually interviewed in a lot of countries already. I got some interviews from Canada, I got some interviews from Germany, Netherlands, I interviewed in South Korea, and I've also done some interviews in India. So I have been networking and connecting with a lot of professionals abroad. And I would definitely, my top advice to people would be, do not be afraid to reach out to people on LinkedIn, because it actually works and it has worked for me every time.
Well, thank you so much, Ananya, for joining us. This is Disha Bagchi for NDTV.